Hi, I'm Georgiana at holisticlifehub. We will speak about free will and predestination. Quite an interesting and thrilling topic if you think a little bit of it. Most people believe that the concept of reincarnation and karma is fatalistic, denying the individual's right to live his or her own life and destroying therefore the ideals by a structure of inevitable circumstances. So therefore, the first question should be, is there or not a free will? This philosophy appears to deny the man's power to make choices. The free will might imply the fact that the man is free to be whatever he or she wants to be, and this is obviously impossible, because the human being has the right, of course, to choose among the things that person is capable to do. And there are many levels of one capabilities. The power to choose is also quite different to each individual, and it is logical if you think a little bit of it. So we might say that the power to choose is the privilege to select what seems to be opportune from many different alternatives. And this power to choose is, in a certain sense, the dharma, or the right to interpret and select certain karmic elements. For instance, karma is when somebody goes on a trip, and dharma is when he or she chooses the means of transportation, and up to a certain point, also the place where that person wants to travel, to go. And once some knowledge was gained in this trip, dharma means their use to reach the end of the travel. But if in the attempt to reach the aim, mistakes are made against the natural law, the accumulation of karma or of consequences of suffering is inevitable. Once the action is done, the reaction is inevitable. So everybody has a certain control over the action. Therefore, we can say that this philosophy, of course, is not fatalistic with respect to the action that was done. So we need to reconsider a little bit the concept. Every person is free to act, but once the action was done, that person will have, of course, to face the consequences, and there is no exception to this rule, as this law acts perfectly in the whole universe. So, coming back to karma, we may say that karma is the one that determines our birth according to our personal destiny. And once we arrived in this world, we have the capacity to do certain actions. We can study or not, we can be efficient or inefficient, we can be happy or sad, honest or not. And this is actually our free will. We have the choice in our hands at all times. And along our life, karma is the one that makes us encounter, let's call them unfinished businesses from other existences. But also we have the right to react to these karmic conditionings according to our present level of understanding. And once an action or a complex of actions is started, karma intervenes again, and each action determines a new chain of consequences. That's why, for example, in the Buddhism, it's said that the chain of reincarnations and of karma is not finished until the causes of that action will die. So as long as the wish to be, to do and to have exists, we are still exposed to karma. In people's conceptions, the destiny is when we encounter certain obstacles. But this is actually our choice in how to face them, how to solve them, how to react to them, and how to use them actually as a springboard for the true realizations, or On the contrary, as a means for involution. So it is always up to us how we choose to react and how we choose to deal with certain things, no matter what the so-called karma is exposing us to. So we have to, of course, we have to face the consequences, but how we do that, which way we react to it, what we think of it, and what it is our next action, it will actually be somehow the energy, the driving engine for beneficial aspects in our life, or on the contrary, for not so good events and feelings and situations and actions in our life. Coming back to the free will, we might say that no ordinary human being is truly free. The freedom belongs to those who have transformed themselves and who surpassed the karmic conditionings from the previous actions and even past lives. In order to burn karma, we have to work upon the cause that created that karma in the past, and also to stop creating a new one, because otherwise we'll just go on and on. Through our present actions we may do that. And when we at last have realized this, our entity as a being that has passed beyond the time will merge with our personality, the incarnated aspects, the manifestation of it. And the result is the initiated man or woman who doesn't think anymore only with his or her mind, but rather bows in front of the absolute or the supreme consciousness. So therefore the theory of reincarnation isn't more fatalistic than the human laws. For example, the murderer that was caught doesn't necessarily associate the punishment for that particular crime with a fatalistic system, but resigns himself in front of the law of the cause and the effect. So he did something awful and now he has to be punished. So it's therefore fatalistic to believe that an action that was done will determine certain consequences which need to be compensated later in a certain way. Do you think this is a fatalistic thinking? Of course not. If the action was beneficial, it will have a beneficial effect. But if the action was wrong, the effect will be negative. So it is not necessary that someone will do all those mistakes that will negatively affect his entire life. Everything we do has consequences, so good action will have good consequences, bad action will have, of course, bad consequences. So once those actions were done, the person who did them has no right, no philosophic system, no theory or of justice will approve him, so has no right to consider himself immune to the effects of his actions. So this is more or less, in a very simple manner, how we can put together free will and predestination. So of course, everything we do, to sum up, everything we do has consequences. Good actions will have beneficial consequences, bad actions will have negative consequences. But when we stand in front of the consequences, when we are put up in front of them, when we have to confront them, we have the free will to choose how to react, how to respond, which action to take, which is the next step to do. So in this manner, by using our free will, we can actually improve our life tremendously. And there is nothing fatalistic about karma. It's simply the law of action and reaction, the law of cause and effect. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing fatalistic about it.